you think the Second Seminole War started? Any ideas? Any guesses? No guesses. Okay. So the Second Seminole War started because of two reasons. It started because, one, the Indians were living in Florida. They had fled to Florida when the United States became states, and they came to Florida for peace. They were given land in Florida, and they were given this land to live in peacefully, which they did, and they liked living there. And then all of a sudden, the United States said, "Hey, we want that land back." And the other reason was because there was a lot of black slaves that had escaped to Florida for refuge, so they wouldn't have to be slaves anymore. So there's two reasons why the Seminoles started, really, and that's because A, the United States wanted territory back in Florida that they'd given the Indians, and B, because there's a lot of black runaway slaves in Florida, and they wanted the black slaves back. What really sparked the start of the war was when there was a troop of soldiers that were marching from Fort Brooke, which is in Tampa, up to Fort Dade, which is now Dade City. And on the way, they were attacked by Indians. And there's 108 soldiers, and 105 of them were killed. Half of them were killed during the gunfire that started initially, and then the other half was killed when the Indians came in with their tomahawks. So that's really what sparked the war, but it was going to start anyway because they wanted the Seminoles out of Florida, and they wanted the runaway slaves back. So I want you to think about that. And I also want you to think about the soldiers that were marching to this fort. They would have been marching in wool uniforms, which was really hot. And they were coming here in December, but even December, this is a hot place. They would have marched 20 miles nonstop, carrying all their own provisions on their back. They were getting scratched up and mosquito bitten and poison ivy and everything else. So it was not a pleasant hike for them. So I want you to think about that, and let's go on in towards the fort. And you have any questions at this time? The reason the cannon was there was to protect the bridge, because the Seminole Indians were always trying to burn down the bridge. So they would actually use that to shoot over at the Indians, and that cannon, and it's at nighttime, so the Seminoles couldn't sneak up on it. So they had to do that, and then during the night, they were always burning fires. Why? So they could watch for Seminoles coming after them. So they did a lot of wood cutting, and then they built this fort, and they did it all in 19 days.
Wow.
So that's a lot of work. They didn't have TV back then, so that might have helped, you know. So yeah, so they were very busy, but they also had a really good reason to get it up fast, right?
Don't do that.
Okay, so this is what they call the quartermasters, or what we might know as a store, right, where you can get things. Each soldier was given this every day. They got salt pork that was left in the barrel, and they got hard bread or hardtack, which was so hard it would actually break their teeth. They got beans, vinegar, gill of vinegar, because it says 1 gill of vinegar. That's about 1/4 of a cup, and the vinegar was used to clean their teeth, to aid digestion, and they thought it might help with scurvy as well. They got soap, candle, salt, sugar, and coffee. What's interesting about the soap is they weren't really into sanitary conditions very much, and they weren't very clean. But they did get soap. I guess if they wanted to use it, they could. And then also like the salt pork. Okay? So, if you can imagine, back then, they had a doctor here, or maybe not, because it was a traveling doctor, and he would go from port to port to port. Or if the doctor wasn't here, someone that knew something about medicine might operate on you. Okay? And how did they operate? Well, they didn't have anesthesia like they do today. Well, they did back then, but it wasn't as good as it is today, if they had it. And they would use tools like you find at the hardware. They'd use like saws and machetes and whatever else they had, right? But if they had to take off a limb, they'd have to just saw it off, right? And what is really bad is that in these beds, there'd be 4 to 5 men in a bed.
Oh, wow.
Imagine